everyone, how's everyone doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Sorry it took me a little bit to come back. The energy just has been all over the place. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So let me see what deck I want to start with. I just have my iPad here just playing like a background noise, so hopefully that's not like too loud, because I don't want to get the video taken down just because of music or whatever. So I think I'm going to start with these. Okay. So the last video I did Taurus, Capricorn, Scorpio, and Virgo. This video I want to start with let's start with Sagittarius. Okay, we'll start with Sagittarius. Okay. Alright, so right off the bat, Sag, you guys could be traveling. So I'm just going to move my camera back a little bit if I can get it to stay. Okay, that's a little bit better. Alright. You guys might be traveling actually coming up. Queen of Wands. So, you're pretty in your element, which is a good thing. I don't know if you guys are thinking about traveling to the West Coast or the West Coast of somewhere, or if you're from a West Coast, depending on where you are in the world. You could just be on the Western Coast. I'm not sure what significance that is, but that is significant in some way, shape, or form. The Queen of Wands, you could be planning something here. I have the Tower, it just came out. And I actually heard something that sounded like it fell in my closet. And I was like, that's kind of why I paused. So that's interesting. It sounded like something fell, and then here's the Tower. But it's like you're kind of watching it. You're kind of like... This is interesting, Sag. I feel like... I don't know why, but I feel like you're kind of just watching this unfold, or like watching this happen. So let's kind of go further into that, because a Tower moment can be a couple different things here. Sometimes a Tower moment isn't like right in your face, like womb, like this is an event type of thing. Sometimes a Tower moment can be a sudden realization. A Tower moment could be like you looking online at something and like finding out some sort of like truthful information that like changes the trajectory of some situation. Okay. This is an interesting piece of dust. I don't know why, but my hands feel wet. What is that? I don't know what that is. I just feel like water on my fingers. So, are you going around water? Are you going to be near water? Let's keep going here. The Queen of Wands and the Tower. You have the Ace of Swords. Okay, so right off the bat, I mean, I feel like there is an energy here that is... The Queen of Wands is interesting for me because, like, I look at this card not through a gender perspective, which I've talked about in the other video, but more so through, like, a vibe frequency. And, like, this Queen of Wands is kind of like an energy for me that unlike the King of Wands, who I think is a little bit more impulsive and spontaneous, the Queen of Wands is a little bit more methodical. And the reason why I say that is because, like, the Queen of Wands likes to, in my perspective, approach in like a glory, kind of. And I don't really know where I'm going with this, but it's like, okay, so like the Queen of Swords, from my perspective, is like dealing with something very head-on, very analytical, very factual, very fact is fact, right? The Queen of Wands kind of deals more with, like, just again, this is my perspective, like the Queen of Wands is going to be an energy that is going to be sitting back and kind of like sitting back and just kind of like knowing your worth, which all the queens know their worth, okay, like all of them. But like the Queen of Wands has a little bit more attitude, a little bit more zest, a little bit more oomph, a little bit more get up and go, versus like the Queen of Swords is going to look at things from a more analytical perspective, is going to really take their time to think about a situation, is going to look at it with a lot of logic and reason, is going to really think things through. A Queen of Wands is going to go off of more passion, is going to go off of what more like lights them up, right? But the thing about a Queen of Wands versus a King of Wands is a King of Wands is, in my opinion, already like taking action. A Queen of Wands is receiving attention more so, like it's kind of more in a receptive mode. So I feel like this Queen of Wands is usually out and about, kind of going 100 miles an hour, but like for this situation you're kind of sitting back and you're kind of letting the cards fall as they are. And through this, I feel like you're gaining clarity, and there's going to be some type of moment where something either dawns on you. And with the Queen of Wands, this could actually be something that triggers you to take action towards something. It could trigger you to move towards something, to go after something. Or it could just spark something in you because it's very fiery, it's very passionate. There's a lot of new opportunities that surround the Queen of Wands. Lots of growth opportunities. And so there could be something that comes in and it like changes the trajectory of something where like maybe you thought you were going in one direction and then now you're going in a different direction. And it's not always a bad thing. Like the Tower's not always negative. So, and I feel like with the Queen looking directly at the Tower, looking directly at the Ace of Swords, you kind of knew this was coming, or like you expected it, or like you're not surprised. Like you're not surprised by a situation. And honestly, it might just even be like a Tower that comes in that gives you something that you're like, oh, this just like ignited this spark of passion within me that like I can act on this. So it could be like a sudden action comes in that you want to like act on. But with the Ace of Swords, I feel like this is coming with some type of communication or some type of clarity. Like this could even be like an epiphany moment, like kind of like you're out and about and then like all of a sudden like something like just like I don't know how to describe it other than like snap my fingers. It's just kind of like something clicks and you're like, oh, aha, like an aha moment. Like I don't know why I just said it like that, it's weird, but it's like an aha moment. Okay, so you have the Eight of Wands and the Seven of Cups. I feel like you are going to have a lot of different possibilities opening up, and you're going to have to really think things through. It could have to do with connections, because you have the Two of Cups here at the bottom of the deck with the Three of Cups. which is not negative. It's just like, pay attention to the relationships that you choose to nurture and invest your time into. There's a lot of things coming your way, a lot of different options, a lot of different possibilities, a lot of different directions you could go in. Maybe you have, like, maybe you're actively dating and you just have a lot of different suitors around who maybe want your attention or want to take you out or want to talk to you. You could be getting clarity from one of these connections, especially with the Queen of Swords and the Two of Cups and the Three of Cups. You could be reconciling with someone that maybe you didn't expect, especially with that Tower, if you're dealing with another connection. Now, if you're not dealing with another connection and, like, you know, you're just not really actively dating or whatever, you could just be in a different position where you have a lot of different things that are being kind of they're kind of being brought to you in a way where it's like, it's kind of like being at the right place at the right time, where you might, like, go somewhere and just because you happen to be there, like, you meet somebody and then all of a sudden, like, here's something that you could do, and then all of a sudden here's another option of somewhere, like, you could go do this, you could go do that, like, there's so many different things. Like, I don't know, like, I even see, like, travel here where it's like, where do I start first? Like, maybe you have the opportunity to go on a trip and you're like, okay, like, I'm gonna plan it because, like, look at all these options. And you could be going with friends, you could be reconciling with friends, you could be taking time out with friends, you could be spending time with maybe even, like, an air sign with water sign placements. Excuse me. Maybe you guys haven't spoken in a while. I even see, like, somebody might even be going on vacation with, like, a mother figure. But it's like, expect the unexpected, but, like, not in a bad way, nothing like that. It's like, expect the unexpected because it's like a bunch of different options coming your way, like lots of different things that you can do to have fun, lots of different activities to get into, like meeting new friends, meeting new people. But it's like, you know, use your discernment, you know, obviously with, like, who you know, meeting up with people you don't know or whatever the case might be. Now, if you're dealing with romantic situations or you're dating, maybe you didn't realize how many options you had and you're like, wow, I have a lot of options. Like, I didn't realize this, like, these people were interested in me, or I didn't realize that these were even options to me, or I didn't realize that, like, maybe this wasn't closed off to me. You know, maybe you meet somebody or you meet people who introduce you to new opportunities to get involved in something. And you're like, wow, I didn't even know that, like, I could connect with these type, like, not that, like, you know, it's like you just didn't know, like, oh, wow, I didn't know that, like, I could connect with, like, these types of people. Like, you know, like, maybe you've spent a lot of time maybe being more solo with things. In regards to, like, you know, because, like, some people just maybe, you know, have a harder experience when it comes to, like, friendships and stuff, because, like, friendships aren't easy all the time, you know. You're blessed if you're able to say that you have, you know, good friends that you can count on your hand, you know what I mean? Like, you're lucky if you have that many, you know. Like, real friends, you know what I mean? So maybe this is a situation where somebody has spent a lot of time maybe not having a lot of friends, and now it's like, wow, like, coming into a whole new group of people, meeting new people, making new friends. But it's like, again, like, you know, use your discernment with, you know, who you're connecting with. You know, not that everybody, you know, like, I'm not saying, like, bad intentions, but it's like, this Queen of Swords definitely thinks about who she invests into and who she talks to, who she communicates with. She communicates beautifully, like, you know, the Queen of Communication, the Queen of Swords, the this person is a great communicator. This person knows how to have good conversation, knows how to reason, knows how to think and not be, like, they're not completely grounded, but they're grounded in the sense that they're very logical in their approach to things. And that makes for a really secure friend in the energy that I'm feeling here. And so it's like, you know, just using your discernment about, you know, who you're spending time with, who you're going out with. Because you could have a lot of things going on, and it's like a little bit chaotic. And it's like, who do I hang out with, you know, like who has good intentions, blah, blah, blah. But I don't feel like this is like bad intentions. I feel like this is more so like, this is an opportunity to kind of open you up a little bit, which is great. Oops. It's way too many cards. We have the Sun, 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like Ace of Pentacles and the Magician here too. I feel like for a period of time, something was kind of like not very clear, not very like out in the open, whether it be like, yeah, because like there's a lot of different ways you could look at this, right? Okay, like you could look at this from a dating perspective and you could say, okay, maybe for a period of time dating wasn't really clear, it wasn't really going the best, like, you know, weren't really meeting the best connections, it felt like, you know, maybe it wasn't the right time for you to date type of thing. That is clearing out. And you're moving into a time period where there's going to be a lot of different options or things that are presented to you at different directions that you can go in. Now, if I look at this from a perspective of not dating, just in general, right? Not dating. I see opportunities for travel. I see new job opportunities. I see multiple different job opportunities. I see, like, the possibility of maybe leaving an old job and starting a new job, or leaving an old job and maybe not realizing the opportunities that are out there, and then like maybe meeting someone or talking to someone. Again, this Queen of Swords energy could be like a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This Queen of Swords energy, I feel, will be able to connect, or is going to play a huge part in connecting you to the right people. And I feel like this comes after a time of having to move away from a situation that was keeping you in a lack of type of mindset, or in a scarcity type of environment. Maybe not so much the mindset, but it's like, you know, it's hard not to develop a mindset when you're living in an environment for so long, right? So it's like after a hard time period of feeling left out, or feeling isolated, or feeling drained, feeling like you don't have enough, whether it be money or whether it be like, you know, just basic living necessities. It's like coming out of a time period of feeling like that and moving into a time period of feeling like you have options, feeling like things are moving fast, feeling like you're connecting with the right people at the right time. You have the Sun here, and you also have the Ace of Pentacles. So I genuinely feel like this is actually really positive, if anything. This is more positive than it is shock value, you know? I mean, of course, the Tower sometimes isn't always good. You know, sometimes it can, you know, be something that can be heartbreaking, or it can be sudden and it can be drastic. But I really genuinely feel like this Queen of Wands is completely ready for it, whatever that might mean. So let me pull a couple of these cards just in case you are dealing with more details. I can get for Sagittarius. Healing. Ooh, intuition. Yeah. Family. Yeah. Yep. Trapped. So at the bottom of the deck, you have the Trapped card, which it just says stuck, tied down, and captive. So you could have felt like you couldn't get out of a situation, or like it was hard to get out of a situation, like something was like keeping you stuck in a situation, whether it be finances, whether it be emotions, whether it just be family. And we love our family, right? Like we don't want to abandon our family or make our family feel some type of way. Whatever the case may be, right? Everyone's situation is completely unique to them, to their own, right? So whatever that situation might be, you know what that circumstance might be. I don't have to go into detail about that. But regardless of that, there's healing here, releasing, purifying, and cleansing, okay, which is really good. You have intuition. So it says heart song, telepathy, and inner knowing. And then you have the family card. So it says fertility, parenthood, pregnancy. Now, when I look at these cards, I don't, like pregnancy, you could be dealing with a pregnancy. That could be the tower that comes in, like somebody could find out that they're pregnant. You could already know this with the intuition. It's, you know your body. I don't have to tell you that. Fertility, parenthood, pregnancy. Pregnancy could also be the birth of something creative, an idea, something that you've nurtured for quite some time. It's precious to you. It's valuable to you, much like a child, right? Intuition, heart song, telepathy, inner knowing. I don't have to explain that. Healing, releasing, purifying, and cleansing. So whatever this is connected to, you're letting it go, you're healing. You're moving forward in healing, I should say. And you are healing, if you want to use your affirmations. You have fertility, parenthood, and pregnancy. You could have been dealing with a situation at home that was making you feel stuck. Not that, things at home make you feel stuck, but it's like, sometimes I feel like there was a big responsibility that maybe should have been spread across a couple people that maybe fell on one person in particular. And that person is going to get some relief, okay? Like, things don't go unseen. It might feel like that for a little while, but believe me, everything is seen. The hard work you do is seen. The sacrifices you've made they've been heard, they've been seen. Whatever your beliefs are, right? I mean, shit, even the trees see it, right? So this is actually really good. You're releasing something, whatever it is. And I also feel like you're about to kind of give birth to something and release it into the world. If it's not an actual child, I feel like you are going to give birth to a creative idea or to a new type of lifestyle, or to a new habit that becomes part of lifestyle that really nurtures you, that really takes care of you, that really focuses on kind of all the right things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave that there for Sagittarius. Okay, let's kind of keep moving forward here. Just take a drink. Okay. So, let me see what I got going on here. Okay, so we're at the 24-minute mark. Almost 25-minute mark. Alright, let's see. I did Sag. I did Virgo. I did Taurus. I did Capricorn. Scorpio. Let's do... Let's do Pisces. And I'm going to put this at 25 minutes. Okay. Perfect. Okay, Pisces. I just saw 3322. If numbers are significant to you, ooh, Pisces, right off the bat, you have the Empress. That's great. Let's see what that's about. Pisces. Ooh, strength. Okay. Where are we going with that? Oh, Pisces, I feel like, oh, yes. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Pisces. Yeah. So you have the Empress, the Strength card, the High Priestess, and the Knight of Wands. And right off the bat, the first thing I see is you, Pisces, are setting some boundaries and you are sticking to them. Not in a bad way, not in a mean way. You're listening to your intuition. You're honoring yourself. You're nurturing yourself. You're holding back when it's necessary. You're giving when it's necessary. You're receiving when it's necessary. You're finding the balance. You're in the balance of it. You might not feel like it, because sometimes when the Strength card comes out, oh, give me 1 second. Hello, Kiki. Hello, Archie. Okay, so sometimes when I see the Strength card come out, it usually, for me, in my opinion, or more, I should say my perspective, so you've earned where you're at completely, because with the Strength card, you've gone through some type of upheaval emotionally to get to the place where you're at. Like, you've learned hard lessons about boundaries. Strength comes out when you've been through, when you've worked through the devil energy, the devil card. From my perspective of reading tarot, again, that's just my perception of it. I'm not doing, there's, everyone sees things differently. In my experiences I've seen with the Strength card, it's always associated, in my experience, in regards to someone having to really put the work in to build that strength. And so it being paired with the Empress, I really feel like you have gone through the thick of it. Like, you've really gone through and done the work on things, especially with the High Priestess, to really tame certain parts that get triggered. Everyone has parts, right? And there are times where we master being in the Empress energy, and then there are times we fall back into other energies. We're human, right? But this is really beautiful to be in the current moment. And then with the Knight of Wands being here, I kind of find this to be funny, because this feels to me like this is somebody coming at you, but they're kind of like shocked by how much work you've done on yourself. Not in a negative way, but more so in a way that's like they're kind of concerned because they don't have as much access to you. The Knight of Wands, if you're dealing with another person, can sometimes be somebody that not always has bad intentions, but like they just come in as quickly as they exit, and they don't always stick around. So this could be somebody who you hear from them, and then you don't hear from them, and then you hear from them, and then you don't hear from them. They're not very consistent, but they show up very passionately. They show up with a lot of energy. They show up with a lot of zest, and they, you know, this is somebody who I don't think always has ill intentions, but I think that they are, what's a good word? Flighty. Is that the word I'm looking for? Is that the word I'm looking for? Let me look that word up just to make sure I'm using an appropriate word. Because I don't want to not use an appropriate word. You seem flighty and lightweight for real. Yeah, okay, so that's kind of what I'm saying. Right? Probably. Anyway. So, with that, okay, so you have the Star card, and then you have the Page of Cups. Pisces, I feel like somebody wants to reconcile if you're dealing with another person. Let me change directions for a second and look at it as if you're not coming from a dating perception. Like, if this is just regular stuff coming at you, right? Like, no intentions of dating, not really on your radar. I would see this as definitely you having a moment of pure passion and creativity and spark that's gonna really ignite this like new creative pursuit, whatever that might be, however that might play out. This pursuit might be something that you've invested in for quite some time. Like, it's something that maybe you've been waiting on, and you're like, oh, is it time? Should I do it? Yeah, do it now, because, you know, life is life, and need I say more? You know, live your day. Literally live your day, and have fun doing it. You have this spark coming towards you, and if it's not a person, this is an opportunity that is going to bring a lot of creative healing and a lot of emotional healing, especially with the Star. If you are dating and you're like, yeah, tell me about that. Yeah, you got somebody coming in, but they're coming in very nonchalant. But like, as quick as they come in, they have a tendency to exit. But you have the Page of Cups here, which tells me that they're going to try to come in with something small. And I mean, it could be something so small as like if you're on social media or whatever, it could be so subtle as they just open up your story. That's it. It doesn't mean much unless their actions align with their words. See what I'm saying? So that's the issue I have with the Knight of Wands and the Page of Cups, is the action needs to align with the words. It can be good intended, like the intentions could be good, but it's not always consistent. And if you're looking for consistency, much like the Empress wants consistency, because usually when you get to the Empress energy, you're really about, you know, maintaining it. You're not really gonna settle for less. This could be an apology even. Like, this could be like somebody trying to bridge the gap. Like, kind of like extend an olive branch type of situation, where they're just kind of like trying to test the waters and see, like, are we still cool? Are we okay? Can I talk to you type of thing? And then it's like they come in with the Knight of Wands. You know what I mean? Now back to if you're not dating. Back to if you're just kind of chilling and you're not really thinking about dating. This is something very creative. This is something very healing. This is something that's going to come in real, real quick. Boom, 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 boom. And this could be something that comes in that is a very nice spark of passion that you just haven't felt in a while. You know, maybe you've had like maybe you're an artist of some kind, whether it's musician, artist, whatever it might be. If you've had a creative block, you're about to come out of it. You're about to share, even like maybe what you've created, what you've made, you're about to share it with other people, or maybe you're about to display it of some level, some way, shape, or form. Listen to your intuition on that, like when the right time is, etc. But again, if you're dealing with another person, they might try to come in and test the waters, but they're not coming in very consistent with the Knight of Wands. That's all I'm saying. You know, it's something, but it's not somebody. It's not the King of Pentacles. You know, lust. So, such a pain in the ass. You could have somebody coming in who literally is a pain in the ass. You could literally know who this person is, and this person could just be coming in. They're a little bit non-committal, Knight of Wands, because especially when you're dealing with dating in general, whenever you see the Knight of Wands, you're like, okay, not really committal. Forbidden sexual energy. So this is a very lustful energy if you are connecting with another person. This is somebody who's kind of coming in, and it's very, it could have a non-committal tone. So keep that in mind. Unless that's what you want, then go for it. You know what I mean? Do your thing. Live your life. You know? But if you're looking for something permanent, long-lasting, if you're looking for a relationship, I don't think that this is going to be something very serious. This just might be like, you know, a good time. You know? Beginnings. Okay, you try again. New direction. Start over. So, again, you could connect with somebody. There's a lot of different ways this could go. Again, who the hell am I to say? You know, I'm just somebody looking at cards. If I were to look at this from my perspective, I would say this could be somebody that you have a very intense physical connection with, and they could come back in and they could want to apologize with the Page of Cups and the Star, or this could be them trying to have a new beginning, have a restart with the Page of Cups and the Star. This could be somebody who wants to maybe make a sweet gesture towards you to kind of maybe open that door up again. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of passion. So this could be somebody that's like, you have a good time with them. No matter what you do, you have a good time with them. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, live your life. But if that's not the vibe that you want, then just be aware of that, you know. But this person might come in with that type of energy, but I don't think it's going to be right off the bat. I don't think they're going to come at you very lustful. I would hope that they would come at you a little bit more respectful before they just jump right into that, you know, like, come on, you know. But this looks like somebody could come in and maybe offer an apology or something sweet, like a sweet gesture, or like a sweet message to kind of like reconcile things, or to maybe spark something new. And again, if you don't know this person, this could be somebody completely new who has a lot of passion towards you, and they want to have a new direction. But again, with the start over, try again, it's like you kind of already know this person. Realizations, epiphanies, understandings, and awakenings. So again, you might know who this person is. You might know who they are. You might not have looked at this person that way before, but it's like suddenly you're kind of like, I'm kind of into that person. You know, I'm kind of into them. I don't know. Let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. I gotta jump off again, so I will jump back on to finish other signs. I hope you guys are well. Have a great night, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.